Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to KARQ'S Reviews Fan Edition, running bi-weekly throughout the entire Overwatch League offseason. Remember to follow the Toronto Defiant on Twitter and look out for this tweet coming out every 2 weeks and respond to it to potentially have your gameplay reviewed by me. Let's get started. Today we have a Low Masters Ana submitted by Tabris OW on Gibraltar. Let's see what parts of their gameplay need some work in order to finally enter Grandmaster. I watched the entire 24-minute game, so I'm going to skip through and point out the parts where I have some comments. So starting position here on Gibraltar is standard, you're just chilling and healing your team, so not much to say so far. I'm going to skip ahead to the next upcoming fight. So as you're continually holding this high ground, you see the Genji is jumping, you get a nice nade and you clean him up. Now, this monkey jumps you and you actually get a really nice sleep onto the nano. Your echo wakes him up right away. Unfortunately, nothing you can do about that. And if I remember correctly, I think you get rezzed right around here, which is good. Alright, so now it's important to recognize as soon as you get rezzed, where are the rest of your teammates? So half of them are on the ground and the other half are still above you. Especially as a support, you have to use that information immediately to figure out where you need to reposition as soon as you come back alive. So do you move to server or do you stay up on the high ground? And based on the context of this fight, it looks like your team had still half your teammates above, like your Winston had control of the top space because you got a couple of kills. So you're able to stay up here for now. Another team fight is about to break out. Ooh, it looks like you have the nano confirmation setting. It's a new setting that came out earlier this year, and I already had thousands of hours on the old nano setting, so I never actually bothered trying it out, so I can't comment if it's truly better or not, but it seems to work for you. So you're gonna hold this high ground here. You guys are kind of split, so you kind of have to be careful here. There comes a blade. You're gonna have to go for the sleep right away, which you pull off. But I think at this point you kind of panicked getting shot from behind, where you just kind of shot, naded, and dropped to the ground. I think because you did have nade available, the better option would have been to turn around, shoot, then nade the Genji immediately, but close enough to where you get the self-heal from the nade as well. But then you gotta continue to run as he wakes up to still have some space between you so he can't immediately slash to finish you off. You have to remember that he already used his dash earlier when you slept him, so all you gotta do is just land one more shot afterwards to confirm the kill. In any case, your team loses the first checkpoint and now you have to hold second. Immediately at the door, you see 3 enemies and you cannot stay scoped in for that long. This is where quick scoping is handy so that you can go for a shot but keep your movement speed to continually dodge the enemy projectiles. Look, you nearly died there and you're 100% dead in higher ranked games if you do that. It also forced out your nade before your Monkey Diva could jump in and engage. In any case, a team fight is breaking out, so let's watch what happens here. Monkey and Diva are engaging. It seems like they're rounding that corner, so I like the idea of you dropping down and rotating to the left boxes. That's where you should be. Get the little nade off onto the Mercy. Now you have to be careful of that instant panic reload out of habit, right? You weren't able to pocket the Mercy. And it looks like the enemies have a few kills, so they're probably going to be able to clean you up, and you're going to have to reset. But there's still some time to recontest before the checkpoint. So as you come out of spawn, it looks like you're trying to push through, but the enemy team is holding you at the top door. There are monkeys here. Try to punish them. It's okay. Team gets grabbed. You have to nano that soldier right now. He's visoring. You got to do it now. Remember, nano boost not only boosts his visor damage, but it also reduces the incoming damage into soldier by 50%, and he's getting pocketed by you and Mercy. Put your resources into him and trust that he'll be able to pop off and survive the grab there. If there's an active team fight breaking out, you just got to use your nano boost, especially as Ana. It's not even a long building ultimate. It's not like Graviton Surge where maybe you have to think twice about when you throw it out. With nano boost, just chuck it out and build another one. I'd say it's better in most cases to just use it, even if it doesn't feel as valuable, than to hold on to it in an attempt to, conserve your team's ultimate economy in case you don't need it. Always safer to just use it. Winning the team fight's always a better guarantee than a maybe. The worst is when you hold on to it and your team actually ends up losing the fight. So another fight breaks out. You want to stay up here as long as you can. You do end up nanoing the Winston. You get tagged by the end of the EMP. That's okay. Good pockets right here onto the Diva. Good nade here. Oh, I actually missed. It looked like it was going to hit. That's okay. So your team looks like they're restabilizing, holding that corner. Positionally, you're in a good spot here. There's usually 3 default spots I'd stay around second phase, which is where you're at. Number 1. Number 2 is right below you behind the forklift. And number 3 behind the boxes to the far left. So you're on option number 1, choice number 1. Until it gets compromised, you stay up here as long as you can. You're getting hacked, getting jumped, getting peeled by the D.Va, so now you drop down. This is option number 2. You stay behind that forklift, or you come to these boxes to the left, and not what you're doing right now, which is standing in between them both. So you're choosing none of the options and staying right in the open. So let me pause and show you the 3 spots I meant. Here is the first one. This is the second one. And the third one is right here. Try to avoid staying in the open sightlines as long as you can, or as best as you can. I know your Winston dropped the bubble for you, so you're fine, but just keep those in mind. Because you can accomplish what you're doing in that spot right here on top of these boxes. Accomplish the same thing, but instead you have this cover and the option to drop down behind the box in case you get jumped. But your team wins the fight. They're pushing up and trying to control the 4 doors here, and this is where you should be using your downtime to reposition back high ground above you on top of the ship, or like on the bridge there. Because if you start on the low ground, you're only stuck on the low ground. But if you start high, even if the low ground will be a better option, you can drop from high to low, but you can't go from low to high in the middle of a team fight. So you actually get jumped by Sombra, and it seems like you're a bit uncomfortable with the quickscope mechanic, or you don't know when to use it. And that was a perfect opportunity to use it, because quickscoping there would have allowed you to land a more accurate shot while simultaneously moving away from the Sombra. But right there, it looked like you turned around scope for really long to try to locate her to land a shot, but then staying scoped in naturally makes you an easier target to shoot at because you're kind of stationary. So your team actually ends up losing the fight, and you're on 3rd point defense now. I just skipped ahead a little bit. Usually here's Ana. You either commit on the right side or the left. You stay on the right behind that little blue box and that little difference in the height of the level here. Or you go on the left by the orange boxes. You see those Genji shurikens are just barely missing you. This is why you don't want to stay too long into the open. You get a nice sleep onto the Winston there. Pretty good, but once again, I would not play in the center right here. Hover over to the left side here. So now you have a nano boost. You got to use this right now. Nano that soldier. We can't hesitate on that. A little late, 2 seconds late. In those 2 seconds, a soldier can be doing a lot of extra damage. Don't underestimate the hesitation. You got to be snappy on those decisions. But off the backs of those ultimates, your team does win the fight, and you have some downtime here. So this is where you should be repositioning right above you to the top of the bridge, right? As long as you start up there on the high ground, you can always drop back down if needed. But now that you're starting low, you're limiting your decisions that you can make in response to what the enemy team is doing. And the enemy, you know, is going to pop everything they have. There's only 7 seconds left on the round. You've always got to be thinking ahead, especially as a support player. Okay, what do they use? What's going to happen in this upcoming fight? What can threaten me and my position? You know they're going to expend everything in this case too, so you should have been either backing up prematurely or, again, starting up on the high ground and staying away out of range of very high value ultimates from the enemies. So at this point, I think it's too little too late. I do think the enemy team is probably just going to cap this because they have so much momentum at this point. So let's give you a little breakdown and summary of what I've noticed on your 3500 Ana gameplay. Okay, so the biggest thing was definitely general positioning. Like I mentioned during downtimes after fights, take time to see if you can get back to high ground, and in mid fights, choose a side that has some coverage so that you have the option to hide if needed. For mechanics, your shot accuracy itself is fine, but playing Ana is all about the interplay between the 3 aim styles of fully scoped, unscoped, and quick scopes. Your full scopes are accurate, but you can't be aiming down sights when enemies are staring at you. You're going to get bursted since you're stationary. Then for quick scopes, I didn't see much integration or use of it at all. Quick scopes again are useful to keep on moving while getting shot or while you're repositioning, while still outputting accurate shots back at the enemies. And the last part I wanted to reiterate is your decision making. You need to be a lot quicker to respond to nano boosting your teammates. Hesitating for even 2 seconds can make or break certain team fights, and every second counts. These things get punished the higher you climb. But hopefully you found that feedback useful. Thank you for submitting, Tabris, and good luck on your journey to GM. And that's it for this week. Be sure to subscribe to the channel up here and watch the other episodes of the KARQ'S Reviews down here.